So how will Pawlenty's exit and Governor Rick Perry's entrance affect the GOP field? Shira Toeplitz covers political campaigns with Roll Call, and she joins us now live from Ames. Shira, thanks so much for joining us today. What's the mood there in the wake of the straw poll?
Well, I think we're all kind of digesting and taking in Tim Pawlenty's departure from the race. I think some people thought that maybe he could have stuck it out a little bit longer after all. He'd been in this campaign in many ways for years. He's been running and, trying to achieve this race for a long time. But it was a pretty sad third finish. He was pretty distantly behind Michelle Bachmann. So we've heard that his finances were in terrible shape, and he might not even make payroll for his staff at the end of the week. So with those factors in mind, we can see why he would decide to get out of the race now.
Yeah, and a lot of people think it's a logical step, but there are other candidates that there are questions about whether they're doing any better financially, that they had an even worse showing, much worse, in last night's straw poll. Do you think that there are others who will soon fold, or are they just going to stick in for the long-haul fight?
I think we'll have to watch in the next couple weeks. I would look at former Senator Rick Santorum to see where his campaign goes. He finished in 4th place, which is, pretty decent considering how much money he had in the bank, which was not a lot. But again, fundraising is not his strong suit. He doesn't have a lot of money. Let's see where that goes. Newt Gingrich, I still don't understand how he's in the race and affording to still be in this race right now. He had a terrible finish in the straw poll. Also look at his numbers, and let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing stories speculating about how long they'll be in the race pretty soon.
And you were there in Iowa as Governor Rick Perry was over in South Carolina, hundreds of miles away, making his big announcement. And I saw an interesting clip of people who were watching his announcement in Iowa. There was a lot of applause there, and he found himself in 6th place just as a write-in candidate on that ballot last night. Do you think there were still some out there who were waiting for someone else to get into the race and would welcome him?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw it here. You saw the Perry supporters walking around. You saw evidence in the straw poll. As you said, he placed, I believe, 6th on the write-in ballot. Yeah, there's definitely evidence here. There was a really cute display at the Iowa straw poll where they had a corn kernel poll. People could buy a kernel and they could fill it in a jar, and you could see which candidate had the most kernels. And Rick Perry was up there. He was competing with the best of them. So it's not scientific, but there's definitely evidence of support here in Ames over the weekend for Governor Rick Perry.
All right. Shira Toeplitz, thank you very much for weighing in for us today.
Thanks for having me.